Thank you so much. I'm glad that, like, so many people are just, like, stepping in to help. Everyone's just entering in to help bring down this one ambassador, dude. It would be a great honor if you would allow us to be your allies in battle. Evil magistrate, it is time for you to pay. Because it's Old Bag and Larry. I'm doing those voices. It's the Steel Samurai? No, you're mistaken, for I am Steel Samurai Daddy, married man of Neo Oldie Tokyo. And this is Pink Princess Mommy. Edgy Poo, I'm back. You can't be rid of me. No. I know. Can you hear it in my voice as I didn't want to say them? The two people I wanted to see the least. Larry! What are you two doing here? Like whining. Way to show your gratitude, Edgy. We just wanted to help. Yeesh. I'm gonna get the bad guy with a single thrust. Go away. How can you be so mean to us, Edgy Poo? All three of us came to lend a hand, and this is how you treat us. Well, isn't this grand? And I see they managed to find the Iron Infant. Does that really matter right now? Hey! Is it just me, or is the Iron Infant completely soaked? Hmm? Oh, yeah! I found him in Babel, but he was in the middle of the pool. He went swimming. Wait a second. Larry, go back to what you just said. Huh? Oh, it appears not that far back. Something about finding the Iron Infant in Babel? And he found it in a pool. I don't recall there being one in Babel. Oh, that. Well, I was in Alabasta the whole time. So, I have no idea how the Iron Infant wound up in Babel. I thought I had lost him in the Rose Garden. But I guess maybe this cute kid can swim, huh? Wait, what? Larry, you lost the Iron Infant in the Rose Garden. So, did they have the body and the child? Not the actual child, but the toy child in like that water thing, and then when the other embassy wanted to get water for the fire, they ended up taking the body and kid with them? Yeah, I'm sure. But I found them in... That's enough, Larry. Never speak again. The Iron Infant that Larry lost managed to move between the two countries. Furthermore, the Iron Infant was found soaked in the middle of a pool. This is what I've been looking for. It's another smuggling route between the two countries. The key to the route the Iron Infant took to travel from Alabasta to Babel is... Hem? I don't know what these mean. Counter. How do these match in this? I want to say the Yatagarazu because the Yatagarazu set the fire, but... What do they mean by bilateral symmetry? I'm gonna save my state. Ah, that's right. This embassy was built with bilateral symmetry in mind. Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir? There's a location I wish for you to examine post-haste. Wait, is there a well underneath the concert stadium thing in Babel? It is where I believe the route used to smuggle Mr. Kochen's body lies. Does something like that really exist, sir? Oh, yeah, I guess so. Like right here? Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll be back before you know it. So, like, waterways? It's too late. It doesn't matter what you do now, it's all a waste of time. You will stay here with us and wait. My phone. This is Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, it's here, sir. Who builds a... What? Who builds a stage like this? This is silly. You deserve to have this used as a smuggling route. There's a reservoir here, just like in the Rose Garden. Just as I suspected. What is it? The two sides of this embassy are mirror images of each other, which means that there is also a pool at the corresponding location on the Bobbleese side. They're so lucky that someone set up this building exactly the same and also had a pre-chance for pools and secret passages. Objection. Avoiding the topic with a vague answer like that is unbecoming of a prosecutor. If you don't mind, I'd like to see more of a physical proof if you have any. Oh goodness. The Iron Infant is positively soaked in water. Why do you think that is? It's because he was fished out of a pool. And not just any pool. It was the Bobbleese one. I think it's pretty obvious at this point what must be true. The water reservoirs in the two courtyards are connected. Objection. And where's your proof that the two sides are connected? Objection. The proof is right there, before your eyes. The half-drowned Iron Infant. That is so horrifying out of context. What? This blasted doll. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm back. Hey. Don't tell me. You guys figured everything out without me? We did, thanks to this hero of justice's son. Even if he is just a doll, he managed to help foil the villain. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Look, I don't want to say this, but it's kinda unlikely that the body just happened to have passed on through to Babel. This guy's a doll, and he's small, so I can believe he made it, but... So, okay, here's my theory on this. It's because you can assume both pools have the water refilling property. So during the first fire, they probably used a lot of the water, which meant that the pool had to refill from the secondary reservoir, which ended up taking the body and the infant with it. He has a point. Yes, that's right. I'm glad someone here understands. Mr. Edgeworth, are you going to next propose that a dead body can swim through a pipe? You see, Mr. Prosecutor, our chase after this man is far from over. Agent Lang. Why is he helping Mr. Alba out now? He's not. He realized a flaw in my argument and is helping to move the logic along. In which case, I should return the favor and find an answer. And another thing. Mr. Kochen's body was found in his office in Babel. So what happened to his body after it was transported to the open-air stage? Sheena, that's where Sheena comes in. Mr. Alba had an accomplice in Babel, remember? You mean Sheena, right? With her there, you can see how it was possible to move the body up to the office. Objection. Are you seriously claiming that she swam through the connecting pipe with the body? He's right. Miss Sheena would drown if she did that. You just gotta hold your breath. Just do it. Just believe in yourself. It's hard to imagine that she swam through the connecting pipe. It looks like your hypothesis about how the body was moved is still only half-baked. In the end, it was all just the befuddled musings of an accusatory man. No, these are the very correct musings of a correct man. Now then, I believe you should give up and allow me passage. Okay, I'm gonna say, so much of this case so far has just been like, I'm leaving, I'm an old man, and us being like, no, you can't leave, old man. Because from the start, there was no feasible method of transporting the body. What? Mr. Prosecutor, recall Sheena's movements. Yeah. What was happening in the embassy around the time Miss Sheena was in Babel? Oh, if only there was a way to get rid of the water in the pool. The fire. Get rid of the water? Aha, that's it. Now then, I believe this time we really are done, right? Objection! He's like, I want to go home, and we're like, no, you're right. Yeah, he said, I want to go home, and we're saying, no, screw you, old man. You don't get to go home. The rest of us are trapped in our homes. You can't come home. You gotta be isolated for 2 weeks. Unfortunately for you, it's far from over, Mr. Alba. You are a most persistent man. Are you saying that you've thought of a way to move the body through the water? Move the body through the water? That is completely unrelated to how it was done. Excuse me. The reason I say that is because there wasn't any water there at the time. What do you mean? There wasn't any water. Just what it sounds like. Tonight's events made it possible to drain the water, allowing the body to be moved. Fires. The night, the Yatagarazu set fire to a variety of locations in the Babalese embassy. In order to put the fires out, much of the reservoir's water was used. Of course, when the water was used, the reservoir's water level went down. If enough water was drained, the connecting pipe could be used to traverse the border. Objection. Humph. So what? The water level went down. The reservoirs were connected. Does any of that matter? You can't prove any of this. Humph. Pretending to be ignorant won't work with me. We both know what kind of situation we're in right now. Even in a game, there comes a critical, game-changing moment. A moment in which you hit a wall you must overcome in order to beat the game. I haven't lost yet. I found the route you used to smuggle the body, and that route will lead to your defeat. Not so fast. Yeah. Even if the water was used by the firefighting effort, you still can't really call that a smuggling route. I know that. I should have figured you would have noticed. Hey, Mr. Alba, how deep are those pools anyway? I'll have you know, Those pools are extremely deep. And there are no ladders or footholds along the walls either. It would be difficult for Sheena to hold the body and climb up out of the pool. The ladders or footholds along the wall? There is no need for such a thing. What do you mean? If one were to use a certain something, they could go up or down in the pool at will. Oh, looks like you've got an answer already. Well, what are you waiting for, Mr. Prosecutor? Enlighten us already. The way in which Miss Sheena and the body were able to rise up to the ground level. If there was a way to control the water level, that could be the way the body was moved. Well, I'm assuming it's the refilling settings. Right? Auto refills when the water level is too low. That's my assumption. Mr. Alba used the fountain spouts in a manner of speaking. He used the water spouts? How so? The water level in the pools can be controlled by opening and closing the spouts. Miss Sheena and the body were lifted upward by their buoyancy in the water. Corpse bobbing in the water. The fire on the Bobbly's side and the firefighting effort. These were set in motion all for the sake of smuggling Mr. Ko-chen's body. Grrrk. Shall I show you where the final destination of my train of logic leads? It's going choo-choo, you son of a gun! First, Mr. Alba closed the fountain spouts in advance, in preparation of things to come. Then, he took the pushcart that was brought to the rose garden, and pushed it, along with the iron infant and Mr. Ko-chen's body, into the pool. At this time, Miss Sheena was busy conveniently starting the first fire in Babel. Then she made for the open-air stage's pool to wait for the firefighting effort to begin. When the firefighters used the water in the pool, the water level went down. And by the time the fire was put out, the pipe between the two pools was exposed. This is when she pushed the pushcart from Alabest into Babel. Once that was accomplished, Mr. Alba simply opened the fountain spouts once more. Look at that water. Water. Oh, I just spilled some water on me. And the water level rose up to its original level, along with Miss Sheena and the body. After that, Miss Sheena used the pushcart to carry the body up to the Secretariat's office. There's an elevator in the embassy after all, so you see, even with her small frame, she could have easily transported Mr. Ko-chen's body. And that wraps up my thorough explanation of how the body was moved. No. Well, ex-Ambassador Alba, what do you think? Not so untouchable without your precious extraterritorial rights to protect you, are you? I knew you could do it, Mr. Edgeworth. Way to fight back. Objection. You accuse me of moving the body across country lines. But when you get down to the nitty-gritty, you don't have what it takes to indict me. The nitty-gritty? What does the old man want now? Apparently that nitty-gritty. Proof, I believe, is what he seeks. Yes, proof. Without any, who is to say whether or not any of what you said really happened? He wants proof? What are we gonna do, Mr. Edgeworth? If only we had a jury system. There is no need to worry. I've had all the proof we need all along. The body wasn't the only thing to go through the pool's connecting pipe tonight. Just as Detective Gumshoe found the pushcart in the open stage area, so too did I find one other item there. And that piece of evidence is what will prove that the pools were the smuggling route. The pick? A guitar pick? And what exactly is that? Humph. You have no idea, do you? This little piece that I found on the Babalese side will be your undoing. A guitar pick? Would you care to explain how that is going to do me in, as it were? How much you're charging, perhaps? This is not a guitar pick. I have no idea what it is then. What? This is something I found at the open-air stage, which was transported with the body. I naturally assumed that you would recognize it, since you took a photo with it after all. Oh, it's one of the flower petals, isn't it? Wait. One of the flower petals? Yeah, see, it's one of the flower petals. But I found... Yeah, I think that's actually one of... Yes, that's totally one of the petals. Oh my goodness, I never put that together. Let us take a good look at the murder weapon that was used to kill Manny-ko-chen. Oh my goodness, I'm a fool. On the handle of this knife there is a beautifully blooming flower. However, it would appear that it's missing a single petal. Yerg. Now let's see what happens when we try to fit this pick in that open slot. Gasp. It's a perfect fit! I assumed that the petal must have fallen off of the flower during Mr. Ko-chen's murder. And then, it was accidentally placed into the pushcart along with Mr. Ko-chen's body. Objection. That's an interesting story. Nothing more. I would also like to repeat, we're not in court, no, not repeat, but point out, we're not in court. I feel like we don't need this unbreakable testimony. Like, they should still be able to take him in as like a suspect. Oh, I assure you it's more than just a story. Because for some odd reason, this flower petal was wet when we found it. It was wet, you say? Yes, and the only place it could have gotten wet from is the open-air stage's pool. Now I ask you, how did a part of the weapon which was smuggled into the theater wind up in the open-air stage area on the Babalese side of the embassy? I don't think I need to waste any words explaining this, as this petal explains it all for me. It proves that someone went from the Rose Gardens pool on through into Babel. Impossible! The people of Shangfa have been waiting to see you face to face, Mr. Alba. I'll tell everyone back home we'll be there soon. You should be happy. Why? 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 It's a little late to be asking that question. You should have known from the very beginning, when you took your first life. No matter how you may plot, or how you may try to cover it all up, you can never hide from your crime and what you've done. Because we're here to see to it that justice is served to people like you. Thank you. You can't call what you've given a perfect argument. That's... You know? I don't think this guy is ever going to admit to his wrongdoings, Mr. Edgeworth. because he values himself above all else. People who can't be negotiated with, or people who refuse to admit when they've lost. I don't believe those kinds of people really exist because everyone breaks eventually. You're right. Oh, wrong voice. You're right. In that case, I have no choice but to use all of the evidence I have. I'll use it until he breaks under the weight of his crimes. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. This really will be the end of the line. Oh my goodness. How do you have so many to be continues? I mean, I'll save. But how can there be that many to be continues? Ah. March 15th. Theatrum Naturalist Lobby. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. As if there was anything else for me to testify about. I still have yet to fully prove that it was Mr. Alba who murdered Mr. Kochen. Well, I would like to hear about your movements before the murder occurred. I wonder if you could tell us about what you did here at the Theatrum Naturalis? Very well. I suppose I could tell you about that. Because about all I did was watch the Steel Samurai show. Elaborating on even that alone is good enough for me. The only way for me to place this man under arrest is to pinpoint the exact location of where the murder took place, for that is key to this investigation. Oof. I watched from the last row. The stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience. I swear, I was there in the audience, but it's hard to prove that, I suppose. I do remember the contents of the show very well, though. Is that proof enough for you? Those moving scenes were seared into this old man's heart. I'll never forget them. I want you to elaborate. I want you to tell me, plot, scene by scene, the plot of the Steel Samurai show. And like Edgeworth is like, has already written an entire fan wiki page about it. So he's like, I know the details down packed, okay? You want me to tell you all the continuity errors that appeared in this? I can tell you that in a snap. So you were in the theater proper, watching the Steel Samurai show, were you? Of course I was. I have a great fondness for the Steel Samurai. Yeah, I was pretty cool up there, wasn't I? You're not the one who was cool, it's the Steel Samurai who is cool, Larry. You'll never be nothing like the Steel Samurai, Larry. Yeah, and the Steel Samurai's special finishing move today was really something, huh? Hey, Edgy! Who is she? Who is this super cute girl? No, go away, Larry! It's Larry! No! Bad Larry. Gotta get out like a spray bottle, like, no! Back off, Larry. She's been here this whole time, and only now he notices her. Her name is Kay Faraday, and she's helping me in my investigation. Sorry I didn't get to introduce myself earlier, but better late than never. Yeah, it's okay, I'm Larry Butts. Silence in the peanut gallery. There's no time for such trivialities at a time like this. Mr. Prosecutor, this is the final battle, you got that? I know, this is the end. They're saying this is the end far more times than I have in, like, titling my videos. Well, that's the kind of thing I like to hear. My throat doesn't like to hear that. I think I'll give trusting you a try, Mr. Prosecutor. Or rather, Mr. Edgeworth. We've earned his respect. Now we are the Alpha. Don't speak, Lang. You've been demoted to Beta. I leave the critical battle up to you, Mr. Edgeworth. Have no fear, I will finish the job. I'm now the Alpha Chad. Okay, I can definitely ace this argument. This really is the endgame. The time has come to expose every last one of Mr. Alba's lies. Thank you. You're gonna need to elaborate on that. Well, I remember the contents of the show as well, myself. That's nice. That's nice. How dare you spit upon the canon that is Steel Samurai, the integrity of this show. Miles Edgeworth, don't allow yourself to be riled up by him at this important juncture. Yeah, I wasn't planning to let him. Well, if you ask me, I think I'm the biggest Steel Samurai expert around here. And didn't you think the climactic scene of today's show was just totally awesome? He's totally gonna say the spear was used. Yes, and I remember that well. And that spectacular special move. See, he's gonna say it was the spear move. And we're gonna be like, no. See, yeah, early summer rain jab is used with the spear. But we didn't see that. The way you delivered the final blow against the evil magistrate. Early summer rain jab. Oh, that scene will live on in my heart forever. Is that how it went? I totally forgot about that. How can you forget your own special moves? Larry, you've disrespected the Steel Samurai far too often. That's the special attack the Steel Samurai uses when he's using the Samurai Spear. See? Yes, and today was the first time they showed it off, was it not? If I hadn't watched the show, then how could I answer you with the name of the move? I suppose you are correct, but if you could, please elaborate on this point for me. Couldn't have happened. Nope, couldn't have happened. Bam. You fool. You walked right into my trap, okay? You activated my trap card, now you're going to the shadow realm of legality. The special move today was the early summer rain jab. Is that your final answer? Do you want to lock this in, or do you want to call a friend? This is now a game show. Objection. You little irritating gnat. Do you think you can trip me up by asking the same question over and over? That was not my intention. Your testimony is more than sufficient. However, I believe it would be wise for you to take a look at this. The Samurai Spear? What about it? This spear actually never made it on stage today. Excuse me? You fool. Unfortunately for you, I forgot to laugh. Unfortunately for you, today's Steel Samurai happened to be a goof of a young man with an abundance of useless hot-bloodedness. Look, he doesn't even know we're talking about him. Having said that, the said useless man bent the spear during his rehearsal this evening. Okay, do you remember what the Steel Samurai's special move was tonight? It was the Steel Samurai Sushi Slash. Correct. Because he couldn't use the spear, a last-minute change was made. Had you really been watching the show, you would have known the move that was used. Yeah. Kirka Saba, you didn't watch even a single minute of the Steel Samurai stage show tonight, did you? Edgeworth is like, I can condone. He's like, that is the real crime today, is that you disrespected the Steel Samurai like that. Ah, so if he wasn't watching the show tonight, then it opens up the possibility he was busy killing Mr. Kochen instead. So where were you during the show? I demand an answer. Now. Just what is so funny? I hate having to do laughs. You're so sloppy. And so are your conclusions. I still insist that I watched the show, or most of it in any case. What do you mean by most of it? Yeah, you see, during the show I left my seat for a spell to visit the bathroom. I assumed that was when the dramatic scene was laid out on screen. On stage. That is the lousiest, laziest excuse I've ever heard in my life, pal. Yeah, just because he got the name of the move wrong. We can't really use that as proof that he didn't watch the show at all. Nyak. As a fan of the Steel Samurai, I'd wanted to watch the entire show. Honest. As a Steel Samurai fan? For someone who wasn't even in his seat for the climax of the show. See, Edgeworth is like, no, I'm the only real Steel Samurai fan here, you fake. Yeah. You have no right to call yourself a Steel Samurai fan, ever. Who was that just now? Who else are we gonna bring back? What? Oh. Why, Larry, why did you do that? It would be I, young lady. Larry, what are you doing interrupting me like that? Yeah, gee, just hold on for a second, I beg. You may never accept this old man as a Steel Samurai fan, but I totally think he's a Steel Sammaniac. What exactly is a Steel Sammaniac, pal? I believe he meant to say a Steel Samurai Maniac. Yeah, and trust me, I know a real fan when I see one because I'm the Steel Samurai. I will never acknowledge you as the true Steel Samurai. You spit on his legacy, Larry. What are you getting so worked up over, Mr. Edgeworth? As like Edgeworth is writing his Twitter rant about why Larry is unable to uphold the name and the values of the Steel Samurai and they have to replace him immediately. It appears that the real Steel Samurai recognizes me as a fan. As well as he should, for I am a fan. It's not as though I missed the entire show. It was a most amazing show, filled with the spirit of the young and the young at heart. The sarcasm dripping from his long wooden nose couldn't run any thicker. Getting the name of the move wrong only proves that he didn't watch the last scene. What I really need here is something more definitive. Something that links Mr. Alba directly to the murder of Mr. Manny Kochen. You know what, Gramps? You're really something else. I'm honored to receive such praise from the Steel Samurais. What is it for? Well, I was just wondering how you found out about the early summer rain jab. You probably found like a script or something. That move is a bit of a secret that only a small portion of the staff know about. Oh, wait. It was a secret. Larry, what did you just say? Aw, did I say something stupid again? 90 to 5% of the time, yes. But this is one of the 5% where you're not. Did you say that the early summer rain jab was actually a secret? Well, maybe I shouldn't have said a secret. It's more like we only decided on the name of the move right before the start of the show. Right before? Yeah, the stage director was going nuts because we were supposed to debut the move. About 5 minutes before the show, we threw it up on the dressing room's whiteboard. Early summer rain jab. That's kinda how we decided the name of the move. But by that time, I'd already bent the spear. So I guess the whole thing was kind of useless. All of you Steel Samurai actors are the same. The director has my complete sympathy. Hey, don't talk about Will Powers like that. He's a good guy. So basically, because we changed the move to the sushi slash, we kind of pretended that the early summer rain jab didn't exist at all. I mean, it'd be bad if someone found out that we changed the move, so we made it a secret. So basically a gag order was issued for publicity's sake. Almost makes the early summer rain jab sound like an lost art. Yeah, which is why I think most of the staff haven't even heard of the move. Hold those lips of yours still. What the heck, old man? I've done nothing but listen, and from what I can tell, it's all unrelated to the case. It's also extremely tedious and a pointless exercise in wasting time. Much like a kid's show. Oh, you're gonna set off Edgeworth again? See? Mr. Alba, I believe the one who should be quiet now is you. How dare you? I suspect that you've already noticed exactly what the very severe implications are in this man's testimony. Ha! So now you're trying to bully me, huh? Yep, I'm gonna cyberbully you. Gonna see me on Twitter, and I'm gonna be like, Alba, cancelled. Alba sucks. I'm gonna dox him, but like, because I don't know where he is, I'm just gonna give his entire country as the place he lives. There are no implications to be read into a behind-the-scenes story of a kid's show. Nope, I'm gonna totally bring it up. You don't know how people react over people who interact with kid shows. Don't even think about trying to slither your way out of this, Quercus Alba. You were the one who said it yourself. The name of the move was Early Summer Rain Jab. But that name was only decided upon before the show was about to start. So, just what are you driving at? That the name of the move you told us was never used in the show or said aloud. Now then, would you care to tell us how you found out the name of the move? Because I can only think of one way you could have known. Quercus Alba, this is the only way. You could have known the name of the special move. You saw it. You knew the name because you saw it. You saw it on the dressing room's whiteboard. The staff members who knew were keeping it a secret. So you couldn't have simply gone up to a staff member and asked. Which means that the only other option left is that you saw it on the whiteboard. So that means Mr. Alba was in the waiting room at some point, right? But what's the big deal, sir? Yeah, I don't see what that matters. What that means. There's another piece of evidence that has a great deal to do with the dressing room. But we can't afford to let this slide. So, dressing room and murder. Was it... What was connected to both? From the dressing room. The pushcart that was used to move the body was right there in the dressing room. During the show, the pushcart awaited its turn to be pushed on stage in the dressing room. Oh, that's macabre, or however you say that word. Like, all these people technically during the show were looking at a dead body. Oh, that's unsettling in a way. And it was finally pushed there along with the Iron Infant in the last scene of the show. And then, right after the show ended, it went into Alabest along with the Steel Samurai. Which means that the only time the killer could have placed the body inside the pushcart was when the pushcart was in the dressing room backstage. So basically, the killer has to be someone who visited the dressing room during the show. Precisely. Nah. Oh, wait, what if, and this is just a what if the murder didn't take place in the dressing room? What do you mean, Kay? I have to admit, she brings up a valid possibility. But during the show, the dressing room was supposed to be devoid of people. Anyone going into the private dressing room would stand out like a sore thumb. But despite that, the killer still managed to move the body with the pushcart. Correct, and it is because of the setup of the theater's dressing room that it would be the ideal location for the murder of Manny Cochin. Kirkus Alba, during the show you went down into the dressing room. And I want to know why. Yes. Yes, I was there. I went into the dressing room. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, I'm placing you under arrest right now, pal. You got that? Arrest! Objection. Just this voice clip. Not so fast. What is it now? Don't I deserve a chance to explain myself? Explain? What is there to explain? I believe I told you earlier that I went to the bathroom. Well, I got lost when I did. I'm just an old man. I wanted to ask for directions, but when I opened the dressing room door, no one was inside. And that's when I saw the name of the move on the whiteboard. You punk, still trying to get out of this? Do you really think you can get away at this point? Mr. Edgeworth, isn't there anything we can do to stop him? Yeah. I don't have enough evidence on hand to do anything. Are we gonna do another investigation? I don't have the airtight evidence I need to put this man away for good. But if that's what I need, then perhaps